If you're someone that's looking for high-level AI studio training on how to use the high-level AI studio to actually build out landing pages and websites, then this video is for you. You're going to see inside this masterclass a full breakdown where Pritam and I discuss building out landing pages and websites using the high-level AI studio. Now, for those that are new here, this video is sponsored by HL Pro Tools. These guys are one of the best in the business when it comes to providing support for agencies. Now, what's cool about that is they supply my agency with support. And the cool piece that is like just below here in the video is if you click on the link and have a look at checking them out and join with them, best bit is that I get a small kickback as a thank you for you jumping through. And the best bit is that it actually doesn't affect your final price as well. So let's get in. And so I wanted Pritam to join us today because, he's one of those guys that works in multiple agencies. He's done over 500 different custom projects. He's helped over 100 different businesses, which is up there with some of you legends that are doing the same. But what we're going to be doing is Pritam's going to be breaking down the process of talking about the AI studio and fitting as much as he can into this one session with the time that he's got. So without further ado, welcome Pritam, and mate, I'll bring it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the lovely introduction, Jared. And thank you so much, guys, for having me. Great to see so many of these folks joining the call. I'll do my best to share everything I possibly know in this 1 hour to ensure that you guys have a quality time, learn something valuable, and probably implement inside AI Studio to build better output quality, which will eventually help your business grow, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a mix of presentations, real life projects, behind the scene prompts, as well as try to build something on the call itself. But it normally takes way longer than an hour to actually build something worthwhile. But still, we'll try to see how much we can work out on that. All right. So, yeah, what you're going to do is let me share the screen and showcase to you that what I've prepared for you guys. So we are going to, let me know if you can see my screen, guys.
Yep.
If that's all right. Perfect. So what we're going to do is let's start this entire session, right? Uh, let me reduce the size here. Okay. Okay. So what you're going to do is I'm going to let you quickly show you the entire presentation, what exactly we're going to cover. All right. So this is going to be how you can build world-class websites, funnels, landing pages, whatever you want to build inside your AI studio and deliver something of a quality that was earlier not possible inside the normal page builder. Because uh, let me quickly take you to my introduction first, but Jared has already gave a lovely introduction. I and Jared met, I think, a couple of weeks back online. We have been friends on Facebook. He has been part of my community for I think for over a month or so that I started. Then I had my paid community. He joined in as well, right? And a small introduction about me. I have been part with High Level for the last 4.5, 5 years. I initially joined a white label for my business, then didn't realize it was a high level, and later realized that okay, this is something called as white level of high level. I joined in high level then, and then since then I've been implementing stuff for myself, for my business, as well as helping other businesses grow with my services and my team services as well. So I'm the founder of PB Digital. PB Digital is our done for you service company, as well as the High Level Lab. High Level Lab is my new initiative in order to help other businesses grow with everything that High Level is doing, especially with the AI side of it, right? So I have worked with over 100 plus businesses across 12 plus countries. And all of this has happened over the last 4, 5 years, completed over 500 custom design project. Now, when I say custom design project, it specifically mean that we have been part of the agencies, we have been on the trenches, we have helped our client literally grow from literally nothing or from scratch so that we can build something of real value, real life, and not of something of just fake buzz that you see on the internet with AI, right? And we have helped our clients generate over $4 million of revenue combined, right? And these are just some of my stats. And while doing so, I realized that okay, I see a lot of agencies who probably want to get exposure in terms of resources, support, community, things that high level is doing, especially the AI studio, which I have a lot of experience in terms of page builds. So probably this is something that I can offer, as a great initiative. And that's exactly when I started out. And a few months back, I got to be, initial users of the AI Studio. Then AI Studio rolled out, and guess what? I started building on it. I figured out that AI Studio is probably going to, take my job away, and a lot of other businesses who are going to already offer these kinds of website build services. Because what used to happen is a lot of these businesses or service based businesses used to offer front end development services, and then they used to upsell on the SaaS plan that you probably already having. But that really literally came down, and there was a fear in the market, and I realized, started building everything inside high level, and the quality wasn't that great. And that this is the reason why I see a lot of people try to build inside the high level AI studio, and the quality still remains kind of average. And mostly all of these projects quietly remain the same. They kind of look the same. They're not that great professional quality. But then I started using everything I possibly could and understanding the system, which made me realize that, okay, uh, if you get the creative direction right, you can possibly create something worth having that is way, way better than the normal page builder. Because those restrictions and boundaries that we used to have, or the normal page builders that you build inside high levels, funnel builder, website builder is now completely gone, and you can build something really, really good, complex layouts, premium animation, custom designs, forms, surveys, calculators, stuff like that is already there, right? Because at the end of the day, this underlying code, the way you give the creative direction as to how they should function, it is going to function like that. Of course, there are different LLMs model in the market, Claude and Kimi and all that releasing, but whatever high level AI you're using, they probably are going to improve it. But whatever it is already is there, the quality is way better. So the output that you can produce is outstanding. So that's exactly what you're going to cover in short, right? Let me quickly show you that what exactly we are going to do. So this is going to be a mastermind where we are going to go through all the steps, where first we're going to discuss what AI Studio can build, where exactly it fits, the planning, prompting, premium layout, mobile optimization, conversion, packaging, pricing, and selling the offer. All of that. It's not just going to be a presentation. I'm also going to show you some live builds. I'm also going to show you some builds that I've done previously, and some of my templates that is built and available inside my community, which Jared has already got access to, but you guys would also be able to see as to what exactly it covers, right? So many of you might have already used AI Studio, which you consider it to be the page builder. You give it a prompt, it generates something. In 2026, it's super easy to have any page or any front end tool on the internet, right? But it is not really that easy to build something worth having in terms of looks. Think about it. You're an agency owner, you're trying to, get in front of people. And I always use this as the foot in the door technique that, hey, guess what? If everyone is providing website build, funnel build services to your clients in the market, how can be the initial front end differentiator? That's always going to be how exactly it performs. One thing, performance comes later on. The first thing that comes is how exactly it looks. I mean, if I have to spend uh, $5,000 to 10 grand over a website or over a funnel, how could I reduce that to 1/10 of the price and do it probably $1,000 or $2,000? That's exactly what AI Studio is enabling in order to ensure that the great quality that used to take way more amount of time and money is now reduced to a smaller amount of time and money, and quality still remains that higher, the top notch. So whether you can build websites, landing pages, funnels, lead generation systems, booking pages, service pages, it's absolutely up to you. And that's what we are going to check, right? Now, where exactly AI Studio fits in your agency? I've seen a lot of people being reluctant about using AI Studio. By the way, AI Studio is still in beta state, but it's been over, like, I think 2 3 months already. It's released, and I've already built over like 100 plus builds as of now, and many people are already using it. Of course, it has some drawbacks in terms of AI usage and manual changes that you probably will incur charges to, or you could use the normal page builder. That I highly the reason why I highly recommend for those people who have budget is because AI Studio can really become those front end initiators that differentiates you from what you have in terms of service providing agency. compared to others, because earlier when we used to work with multi-million dollar of these businesses using high levels AI, high levels normal high level page builder, now the quality for some reason, because of the constraint of the page builder, always used to limit from what other professionals will do. For example, if you have heard about Framer, if you've heard about Webflow, if you have heard about other different tools that uses React-based solutions in order to get amazing quality, and of course you've seen those websites and landing pages, and it always a dream for people like me, because I look up to these softwares and think that why can't we have that inside high level? And that barrier is now broken, because with AI Studio, you could have those design, those layout, those sections right here. So you do not have to go and use a third party software. One thing I've seen that agency owner really hate is that, hey, everything that I want to do is want to do inside high level. I don't want to use an external app for it, external software for it, which is what is enabling now. So you use the front end tools of pages, websites, funnels, everything for AI Studio, and you let high level do the rest of it. So CRM, forms, calendar automation, AI follow up, all of that stuff. So AI Studio helps you get the front end attention, everything on the higher quality end, replaces Framework, replaces Webflow, replaces any other AI based tool, and then high level takes you in terms of the CRM. That's why high level has rebranded itself also to being an AI powered solution there. So whatever we are doing today, it needs to be a certain process, because let me quickly take you out of this presentation and show it to you some of the normal builds that you see. So if you just try to prompt the page builder in order to, hey, get me a construction website build, it's going to give you something probably like this. And what happens is that when you create these kinds of websites, it just looks so similar to something else that you might see or your customer might see as a commodity, which it is. And nobody's going to pay you for something like this when people, uh, you know, those who have no idea could just come and write a simple prompt and just get you a build like this. But how about you could get a solid build, right? Something like, let me show it to you, like this, and people will be like, wow, this is amazing. Why couldn't I get this on my prompt? Or why will I not have something like this that looks this great, this clean, this neat, this professional on AI Studio? What if I tell you that these all of these are actually built in AI Studio, whether you want to build a normal page with a single page website, or you want to build, let's say, look at something like this. Let me show it to you. Okay, let me refresh this for a while. Yeah, you look at it, it's like probably 20, 25 pages already. So you want to build a big website, a big funnel, multi-page, everything literally could be done here, right? And let me show it to you in terms of what we have been building. So this is my community that we are already, Jared also a part of. And what we do is I built, right, these kinds of really custom made AI templates, and we showcase to other people. Of course, we give them for free since they are part of it. And we also showcase to people as to what exactly is the scope, how amazing and detailed you can get when you just try to prompt your way in the right direction to your AI builder. And all of this is built inside the normal page builder. Look at this small interaction. I mean, I'm not saying this is out of the world. Nobody is promising that it will get you the moon. But what it's promising is everything that was like 5x expensive and was literally impossible inside the normal page builder of high level is now possible. This quality is what we are attributing to that. Okay, if I could get something like this, I could potentially charge my clients way more than what I am doing now. And that's the value addition that HighLevel AI Studio is doing. And if you just could learn the exact process of doing it and then use your creative direction, you could possibly get to something like this. And of course, this is way better than this, right? If people pay for, okay, this is probably something that anybody would love to pay. I'm just showing you simple interactions, right? That just look so clean, so professional. And that's what I've been teaching to people. And I thought that I'll have a session on this. And Jared was amazing to welcome me on this. And this is absolutely great. I mean, all of this is, by the way, if you know, HighLevel AI Studio, the normal HighLevel page builder was just on desktop mode and mobile mode, right? But now we have the tablet mode, and literally with AI, we could command it in a way that things can go really clean on no matter which screen size you're using it. The quality, the design, the detailing, stuff like that. Simple, complex layouts like that probably should have been there inside HighLevel was not there at all, and because of which our clients used to face a lot of issues. And since HighLevel came in, I was like, okay, HighLevel AI Studio came, I was like, okay, I have to build something that looks amazing. Let me show you these ones so that you can take a great idea as to how exactly these builds look. I've been sharing this openly inside our community, my Facebook, and guess what? The quality literally matched some of the best on the internet. And really, if you add these as services as part of your agency or you build your own website, stuff like that, you could literally take it to the next level and compete with the best of the best, because that's been my focus for the last 5 years. And that's what I also teach to people. So, and by the way, all of this are like 100% mobile optimized. Uh, yeah. Every single detail, whether you see the small effect that you see of the text being getting colored when you scroll animations, different kinds of stuff, everything here is literally great quality. Let me show you some more before we go back to our slides and changes, as well as some agency sites that we recently created. So again, simple, neat, clean, professional one. And by the way, all of this could take you 1/5 of the charge and 1/5 of the time. So it also helps you ship professional quality projects faster, easier, and at a lesser cost. I mean, you can still charge what you charge normally, but then it's going to, at the back end, it's going to cost you way lesser than what it normally does. Because something like this is outstanding, especially when it's built inside AI Studio, right? Let me really take you to our SaaS snapshot. Let me showcase you some examples here. You'll get a feel of it. These kind of professionals, by the way, all of this is like Vive preview, so it's all built inside AI Studio. Every single detail, and all of this literally could be changed with a prompt that you direct it to. The only thing that I urge people, which I see the problem that people are facing, that their prompts are not getting the highest definition of quality possible, is because they kind of, whatever they have imagined in their mind, they're probably thinking that, okay, if I just prompt like, hey, they're getting a great marketing website with these brand colors and with these sections, and then HighLevel AI Studio will somehow magically be able to read my mind. Unfortunately, I think we are still a few years away that our thoughts could be read. But if you could talk like a marketing web design specialist to AI Studio and let AI Studio know that what exactly you need and give the creative direction, it could do all the hard work for you. Which basically means that all you have to do is provide the right creative direction in order for it to implement exactly what you're talking. It can only understand what you talk to, it won't understand what you think of, right? So this is a very important differentiator that you have to keep in mind. But all of this is just AI Studio stuff, which I wanted to share with all of you. And yeah, these details, small single details, right, that makes big differences, curated very, very efficiently. And by the way, none of this is a bloated code like what we used to do earlier. We used to like literally hard code websites. I never did that because that's not good for SEO, not good for running ads, because just bloated code out there, it takes a lot of time for the page to load. Not recommended. But however, in AI Studio, things are way faster. They're probably whatever code they're using, it's clean code, the output is great, the quality is great. So I have been really vouching it for because I see real potential that my clients already getting it, publishing websites. So why not other people should also do it? Simple animation, simple effect that takes you and makes your site way better. It also gives you in positions. By the way, this is only the front part. You of course need to use your other services where you build automations, manage pipelines, CRM, all that stuff in. But yeah, so that's quite a lot of stuff I could probably show you at the end. But let's go back to the presentation. Let me show it to you that what we can continue with, right? So plan before you build, right? So whether what kind of target audience you have, what kind of offer you have, your goals, your position, your journey. Because it's very important that you feed every single of these informations to HighLevel AI Studio. Otherwise, it will not be able to understand and it will create something that's something generic. In the technical term, we call this an AI slop. And that's probably one of the reasons why you see many of these sites kind of look the same with change of image, change of text, and doesn't really have that uniqueness that people aspire to be or agencies are looking for. And that's why they say that okay, the quality isn't that great. It's good enough to have something on the internet, but my goal is to have something great enough so that people say, "Wow, this is world class," and that's been my goal. So you know in as much as feedback that you get, right? For example, if I have to build a website or a funnel for one of my client inside AI Studio or on the normal page builder, I'll definitely do these of research, which is focus on what the target audience, who are like what exactly is the customer avatar, how they look, how they feel, what kind of you know intentions they have, what kind of purchasing power they have, what are the things they like, what are the things they don't like, what are the problems they face, what are the pain points, what are the solutions we are offering, right? Then we come to the offer. What exactly we offer, which should be the center point of everything that we're doing. What are the goals? What kind of actions do I need them to take inside our, uh, inside our website, inside our page? How do I position this in terms of the branding, in terms of the looks, right? What should be the customer journey, where they should go from one page to the other in terms of completing the entire customer journey, whether it's a lead gen, whether it's an appointment booking, whether it's sales funnel, right? All of that is super essential. And without this, you will not be able to achieve the quality that we're trying to build. Now, let me get this clear that a lot of people say that we could build one premium website with just one prompt, which is not possible because as of now, you probably already have used it, tried it, prompted once, no matter how big the prompt is. You go to ChatGPT and you ask it to build me an amazing prompt. And guess what? It builds you an amazing prompt, but then you don't get that quality yet because it takes a lot of times, a lot of nurturing in terms of changing every single bit pixel by pixel, and that's when you get the quality. And I want to show you all of that in terms of the backend prompts that we have been using for our clients so that you can get an idea. So the next part, of course, is the layout, right? How exactly I want my pages to look like. What kind of sections should it have? And once it builds something, it's going to build something generic, by the way, right? I mean, if you use the right prompt, the best possible battle tested prompt, it's going to give you something better than the rest. But that's not it. That's like you have the first draft, which you do not want to publish now. You then want to go section by section, layout by layout, element by element in order to refine every single of these sections, right? Again, it's going to take you probably 2, 3, 4 days, but then because AI Studio itself takes its own time in order to do it, but then that's absolutely fine because the amount of time that normally used to take is way more than compared to what it will take you in AI Studio, right? So how do you write better prompts, right? This is a good comparison for you to understand, right? And not just one prompt. We have to get out of this mentality that one prompt is enough for me to create something amazing. But by the way, one prompt is great enough to create something good enough, but they're not great enough, right? And that's exactly when good prompting comes into the picture. And when I say good prompting, I say every single detail needs prompt needs to be super great in order for you to achieve that specific output. Otherwise, you might have a lot of uh, changes, and you want to write a prompt to change something on your very big website. It's a 20-page website I showed you, right? And you might not realize it, but then it will change a lot of other backend codes on all other pages, and then you'll be like, what exactly did I did, right? Because it changed literally everything. And due to that, it's going to be a headache for you. And a lot of people, increase their cortisol levels and get into a stressful environment and say that this doesn't work. This doesn't work because we are not able to give the right possible prompt in a way to get the right possible quality. All right, I was just going through the chats, but yeah, thank you for that. Any question, feel free to write in the comment section and we'll be happy to answer them, right? So let me just show it to you one more thing here before we dig dive into the backend prompts, right? So again, it's not, as I said, it's not a one prompt build, no matter how good the prompt is. I believe based on my quality standards, right, it could only achieve till like 60%, no matter what you do, right? I've even tried Claude and every other tool there, Kimi as well, but then no matter how good it is, the first prompt only takes you around 50 to 60% of the desired results. Some people might think that this is good enough for them, but then for me, if I want to build something truly amazing, I do not settle at the 60%, right? I take that at the 50 or 60%. I only take that the half of the work done. And then exactly is when I get into the picture and make sure that I do the rest of the 40, 50%. And this is what I call as iterative refinement. This is what I call as the creative direction. This is exactly where my job starts in order to ensure that, okay, I gave it a prompt, an amazing prompt, a very detailed prompt. It got me something, but then now I want to get into a situation where I literally control every single element, but then I'll let AI Studio do its job, right? All the hard work, all the backend lifting, all the code processing is to be done by AI Studio, but I'm the one who's going to give you the creative direction. So you get polished output, visual hierarchy, everything that I mentioned here, copy refinement, CTAs, textual upgrades, mobile optimization, literally everything. So let me quickly show it to you and give an idea. All right. So let me open this here. Okay. For this, we're going to try to build something, but then what happens is AI Studio will take a lot of time. But even then, what I have done is I have collected an example that I'm going to show it to you. So what I'm trying to do is, for example, I'm trying to create an exact scenario where, for example, if you have an old website of your client which you want to revamp. So let's say this is one of a client website that you want to revamp, and for this, you'll need a good website that you want to replicate. Of course, you cannot replicate 100% of it, but you probably want to take their styling, their looks, or their layout similar to what you have, and then try to fuse both of them to make a baby of its own, which is a completely new version. And this new version is what you are going to then refine further to build your premium uh, of your own output, which you can then sell to your customers. So for example, here, this is a template that I see, which I really like in terms of layout. It's clean, it's professional. I probably could charge way more than the normal AI Studio stuff that AI Studio built me this, right? But then you might be thinking, how could I get to this particular quality, Preetham, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to fuse this particular website, which is the old website, is going to take the branding, probably the logo, probably the text, the copy, things like that. And it really depends on what the backend is used on this, because I've seen AI Studio understand the backend of some of the website just by providing URL in a much nicer way versus some. So the difference here is based on how exactly the website was built, which we have not much idea of, which is fine. And then we are going to use an example. For example, this, and this also is where it's going to identify the small elements which is then going to replicate here to build a brand new website. So for this, what you're going to do is you're going to go inside the community here. If I go to the AI prompts, let me quickly show it to you. The AI prompts. So I have this prompt here, which is basically transform an old website into a new website. And there's a long and a huge prompt here, right? It's not a one line or one page, it's multiple pages. But then this is also very important thing that I have mentioned here to my community members, that you use this prompt when you already have an old existing website with existing branding and content, but you want to rebuild it with a cleaner, more modern, premium design by using either high quality website inspiration. But do note that this quality or this prompt only does about 70 75%. I will actually rate it much lesser. I will actually make it around 60% of the heavy lifting by taking the old website, branding, logo, copy, structure, and then turning it into a fresh new website version using AI. And the rest of the 30 to 40%, this is where you need to really work, and this is where it takes the like 90% of the time, right? So this is exactly what we're going to. Probably with time, we are going to see better refinement. So this 70%, 60% takes around 70, 80, or 90% over time. But as of now, this is what we can produce. So what I'm going to do here is, let me tell you one thing. It's a huge prompt. It needs basically two things. Source one, sorry, okay. Source one, which is the inspiration website or design blueprint that you already have in your mind, or a real one. And then source two is going to be an existing client website or business content source, right? So we already have both. So I'm just going to copy this entire form. It's a huge prompt. Uh, so I'm just going to copy the entire thing here. And then I'm going to paste it there. And the quality will be nice, but then it won't be amazing. Of course, it won't be the quality that I've showed you guys already. So we want to show you the refinement if the time permits. Otherwise, we're going to go to the act already built website and show you the backend prompts here so that you can get a better quality for understanding. Let me quickly copy each one of these. All right. I have the entire prompt here. I'm probably, let me see. All right. I'm going to go inside my AI studio. I'm going to place it here. And then what we are going to do is go to the top. All right. And then we're going to add the um let's say the inspiration website here. I'm going to go usually the first one is the inspiration website. So we're going to delete that, add this one, and then we're going to go to the one that is the old one, right? And we're going to add this here. This returns the entire thing, and then we're going to let AI Studio do its job. It might look like, okay, this is going to give you a decent website. Of course, going to get you something much better than this, but then that won't be enough. That's just like 50% or 60% of the work done for me so that I can get a much, much better quality. If I have to show you the backend of this particular site, which I was showing it to you, it's taking some time for it to load. Probably I'm sharing so many of these tabs, it's a little slower for me. So every single detail you see on the site here, whether these dot blinking, whether these shine effects, literally everything is handcrafted. By handcrafted, I mean that the creative direction was given so precise that it literally changes everything. Sorry, it says unresponsive, it's probably because I have so many of these tabs open. Right. So let me showcase you the prompt. I probably used over 500 prompts here, but then I want to show you the quality so that you can get better at understanding it. Think of yourself like the master who knows exactly what you're looking for and is able to describe it. For example, if I take you to this particular website, if I take you to this particular website, which is a nice website here, nice website template, I would really want you to think deep and give me every single detail of how exactly this website looks on the front end, because that's exactly what we could do, right? I'm not a coder, you're not a coder, we don't code on AI Studio. We literally give it instructions. So every single detail, think about it, go through this entire website, right? And you will need to like think of it and tell me what are the smallest of the smallest detail which makes it really look nice, right? And the more we observe, better is going to be the input creative direction to AI Studio, and better is going to be the output, right? For example, if I have to show you this top bar, you see here the bro line, which has the phone number, the info, the text here, the icons here. If you see, it has some kind of forward slashing angle texture, which makes it look really nice. If you hover on these, you see the color change with a bar on the top, which makes it look nice. If you see the hero section here, it has some spacing on the left and on the right. If you click on the button, you'll see beautiful changes there. Clean UI looks very good. You also need to explain and understand that what we say in to these changes. For example, this is the normal state and this is the hover state, right? When you use these exact specific terms and input into AI Studio, what it's going to do is it's going to understand that exactly in its own language based on what's trained on, and then make changes to the backend code and ensure that you get something super similar to this, right? These kind of frost effects, clean layout, you know, glass frosting effects, hover effects, things like that can of course be achieved, but then it won't come as part of the first one. For example, we have already put it to progress, and then it's going to simply build one for us, but then it's not going to be as detailed. But the more specific detail we provide, the better output it's going to be. And by the way, if you're aware, HighLevel has this okay, HighLevel has this visual editor, which is really nice. It wasn't part of HighLevel, I think, in the first 1.5 months. So with visual editor, what you could do is you could literally click on this visual editor. It's going to start a live preview, right? Okay, let me try to do this again. I double clicked on this. Right? And then the ability for you to select any of these images, text sections, and then based on that, you could literally change anything. For example, here, if I have this particular section, right, it's selected this div here. And if you see the backend, I have had this beautiful shine effect going on all of this. And then if I have to make any changes here, this is exactly where I'll make changes to, right? And I'd write the prompt here that, hey, make changes to this particular color, this particular effect, and all of that. And then what it's going to do is it's going to make changes to that particular single point. Now, this is essential because your code or your prompt or your change will not be reflected on any other part of the website, which is going to save you from a lot of unnecessary bugs. So this is one of the most important things that we have been using a lot on our website. And guess what? If you just select it, you could change literally anything from these options which are available here: font size, typography, font style, colors, spacing, margin, literally anything. Or you could give any input as to what a prompt you want, how size you want, all of that as a manual input, and still going to make a lot of those changes for yourself, right? So I want to close that here. And that's basically the backend, but let me show you all the prompts which are there. There's a huge list of prompts that we provide, and we ensure that every single of these prompts is super detailed. For example, if we've done like most of it, it's fine. But when we are changing a lot of these, for example, this one, if I have to show you, just look at these detailed prompting. Okay. So we are ensuring that we are providing, and this is, by the way, a prompt which is we're not even 50% up there, right? So this is probably one of those 500 prompts that we have provided after we have already got a satisfactory page, and then trying to make sure that it takes you to that quality. Every single of these detail is being highlighted on every single of these prompts, And we have to do this again and again in an iterative way to give the right creative direction to AI Studio to ensure that it gets that particular quality. Think of it like an intern who has all the capability but zero direction. Now that's when your direction comes into the picture. So let me quickly go back and show you in the presentation for these builds. Right. So as I was discussing with you, like build it in stages, not in one click. Right. So we are trying to get that prompt that which I already gave it. It's going to give me an output, and then we are going to think, okay, this has given me a decent one, but then it doesn't have that quality. We then are going to go to each particular section, for example, the hero section, right? The next section, or whatever all sections we have. And then we are going to make changes to every single of these sections, right? Whether it's the headline, whether it's the background, whether it's the text, whether it's the refinement. Because once you get one section right, you could replicate that particular effect or that particular change to the literally the entire page. And once you have a perfect home page ready, it normally takes, even if you're trying to build something on your own, the first page, of course, takes the most amount of time, effort, and energy. And once that's built, once that idea is clear, when the path is set, you could replicate same changes to the rest of the pages because the backend code is already there. High level AI Studio already got the creative direction that it needs, and then you just ask it to replicate based on what changes you want on the other pages, and it does that with relatively reduced amount of time, right? And that's when it becomes slightly faster. Okay, I'm just going through some of your comments. Okay, so Bern is asking, how do we integrate with backend and then publish? Okay, there are two ways of publishing this. For example, when HighLevel AI Studio, it's going to create you a form, right? Or any of the input mechanism or survey, something like that. It's always going to ask you whether you want to add it to the CRM. So you prompt it that, hey, add it to the CRM, and then it's going to connect it. The way it's going to connect is, of course, it's going to create custom fields in your HighLevel CRM, but in many cases, we have found that it doesn't create all the custom fields. So you have to manually go ahead and make sure that all the custom fields of input information that you're trying to get on your forms and surveys also gets added to your CRM. And only once that is done, use that in order to include and update any of your automations. There's another foolproof way that I also use, and I've been using for this particular web project here, is that whenever you create a nice form inside your normal form builder or a survey or a calendar or whatever the input field is, you can then get an embed code, right? And use that embed code in order to replace that particular form, the survey or the calendar, so that it replaces entirely and it works as an embed code on your AI Studio website. There are two ways of doing it. HighLevel also is now releasing, it's already in works, not yet released, but then it's going to have its own payment mechanism to ensure that whatever products we are creating in the payment section also comes up so we could do our purchasing, one-click upsells and downsells. Is the first prompt just for the home page or for all pages? The first prompt that I provided here is for all pages. So it's going to replicate and see what we have on the old website, right? And it's taking the layout, the design, the modern feel of the new one, and then trying to create a new website based on all the content, all the pages available of the old one, right? So that's exactly how it's doing. But then again, as I said, it's only the 50% of the work done and nowhere near perfect. And that's exactly where we have to keep building it every single section by section. Yeah, sure. I'm going to show you exactly of how I do it. Do you use anything outside of the large prompt that might be templated like voice to text? Like, yes, Whisperflow is something that I use. If you try to just normally type your text out, you're going to get bored of it really soon, and you will not have the energy and capacity to write those single prompts. I always use Whisperflow in order to ensure that whatever I have in my mind, every single detail, whether it's how the button hover effect works, how the designing works, how the font size, every single detail. I just speak it. For example, I'm speaking to you. This is the exact way. For example, if I have an intern in my company, if I have a junior in my company, if I'm taking a training, the exact way I'm going to replicate it to those people. In this is the exact way I use Whisper Flow, and literally I give paragraphs after paragraphs of paragraphs of input. So it analyzes all a lot of that and ensure that I get the right quality. If not, I won't stop till the desired quality is achieved, right? And I'll find a way to make sure that it understands it very specifically. The only issue with HighLevel's AI Studio as of now is that it's not able to, and not just AI Studio, other websites too, is that it's still not able to, really pick exactly what you're talking about. And it's probably not the AI, it's probably us, because the AI is already has millions of data points. But where exactly we are targeting, it's our responsibility to track it to the AI Studio. Okay, how much this would cost me? Okay, in terms of AI Studio charges, if you are not aware, I'll tell you both AI Studio charges and the charges that I normally charge or an agency could charge, right? So if you go to your agency and then if you go to the AI pricing, it's already showing us that how much it's going to charge. I think a 20-page website that I showed you of that event space is probably going to be charged in terms of AI users based on what I see on the data. It's probably going to be around $60 to $70 at max, right? In terms of AI usage, you could charge literally anything you literally want. I would, for a website like this, I would earlier, it would take me approximately a month of my time to build something like this, working 8 to 10 hours every single day on this one project because it has to be super detailed. And let me tell you one thing now, if you can build something now in one page, as I said, you could, once you have everything perfect on the homepage, you could replicate it on the other pages, which would happen in a few minutes on a few hours. Earlier, we'll still have to do it manually, right? So it would exponentially increase the amount of time and effort. And of course, I'll charge $7,000, $10,000 for this. We have builds in high level normal page builds that have charged 10 grand. But now I'll literally charge one fifth of it, like 1,500, 2,000, $2,500, really depending on what's my use case, where I'm from, what kind of clients I work with. So it really depends on the quality now. But I have significantly reduced the pricing because the timing is also less. Now we could now actually build this entire thing with the 500 prompts in less than a week for my client, right? And because I normally track how much time I'm spending on each particular project, and that has increased my efficiency like 10x because we could simultaneously work on multiple projects together, and the quality is mind blowing, the output is mind blowing if somebody knows what they're doing. That's why I said, right, Mandy, that every single detail. For example, if I have to show you this particular text that you see on the screen here, for example, this golden tone, you need to tell me, or think of it, you're telling to your junior that what are this color tone, what is the specific color that you're seeing, what is the gradient effect, from where it should go, right? But this is what AI is able to understand and then write the backend code. Now trust me on this, everything that you say is getting changed on the entire website level unless you're directing it, because many times a prompt might give you the output in like 5 minutes. Many of this prompt I've seen takes like 20, 25 minutes just for one single change. Do not get frustrated because AI is not efficient enough. Sometimes your prompts are such that it needs to change the entire backend to get that output to you. And if you're not patient enough and you're saying that, okay, it takes like 20 minutes to change something on a 20-page website, for example, I just wanted to change the gradient effect on a button, then it's thinking that how could I change the base layer without affecting all other gradients on the entire website. So these kind of detailing is super important for us to understand how AI Studio works and how could we price it.
Hey, Pridham, there's a couple of questions a little bit further up in the chat. I've got one
Okay.
from Bern. Can you edit the source code manually if needed?
I've never tried to, but I think we can. Let me quickly show it to you. You cannot download it. I see a lot of people requesting in the community that they want to download this, but it's not possible at the moment. This is the code here.
Let's go there.
Yes, you could actually. I saw it on a video. If you know what you're doing, you could literally go to any of these and make manual changes here, right? And that would work. You could also copy these codes if you want to copy it manually to yourself and you think that this is going to be good enough. Copy this, add to Claude or any other page builder, that also works. As of now, you cannot download the entire file like how we could do on WordPress or any other page builder. You could download the entire code base and then upload it somewhere and then get the entire exact pixel perfect website. So that's not possible yet. But yeah, you could make changes to it. You could copy this entire thing here, like literally copy this entire thing here, and then use it somewhere else. So yes, that could be done. I also saw a comment as to how good it is in terms of SEO, right? So there's a few settings that HighLevel has provided in terms of SEO. Of course, you have to make sure that the website is published and all of that. Let me show it to you. If you go to settings here, there are a few changes here that you could do. You could rename the project, all right, in the project settings. You could go to the domains. You could publish that. You can connect your domain here. And then comes the part of SEO. So the SEO, or what we had on the regular page builder, is different than what SEO we have. We turn on the advanced settings here. Of course, when you have your site published and everything, you verify your site is live. You improve social preview content. You copy this particular prompt, which HighLevel has already provided, and you enter it to the AI Studio and you prompt it. You generate a sitemap with this by prompting again, right? For example, if you're running ads and if you want to have a header, a tracking code that you want to add to the header, same way, you add it to the prompt here, and then you let AI Studio add it there, and then you can also create a search console in the Google, right, for us creating a sitemap. For example, if you just go here, then in terms of efficiency, I'm not sure, but if you go to the page ranker, which showcases how good it for SEO, how good it is for page loading speed in terms of desktop mobile, they perform really well, surprisingly, compared to the normal page builder. So here you could create your site report, everything here in the Google console. So that you could do. But those output turns out to be really good. I think it's still going to take some time in order to see how exactly this turns out to be in terms of natural SEO progression. But with AI coming in, we're also looking at AG or AI or something like that in terms of how it comes up in terms of search in AI. So those things are still it's still a bit hazy as of now, but the quality is still in terms of just multiple options that we could change uh, to get particular desired results. Okay, so this is what it created. But again, this is something super basic that this is the fusion of the old one and the new one, but then I'm probably not happy with it. I mean, the section, the layout is way complicated, way advanced than I normally would have. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to each particular section and then I'm going to, for example, here I'm going to copy or screenshot every single detail of this and then add it to our page builder, right? So I'm going to go section by section as I showed you in our presentation, and I'm going to go to every single detail to make sure that everything is pixel perfect, right? So that's the entire thing. Let me really continue on the presentation. Unless, Jared, is there any other question that I can answer?
There were two more questions. How long does
Okay.
it typically take you to create a landing page like the ones that you've shown?
Okay. If I'm just talking about one landing page, probably take me around a day or two, right? If I'm dedicatedly working like 7, 8 hours a day on AI Studio to create the pixel perfect quality, if I'm working on multiple pages, and I saw the 20 page one, it took me around a week or around 7, 8 to 9 days in order to make sure everything based on, of course, the feedback and changes and all of that. But in terms of my effort, probably almost like a week, slightly more than that to get everything, make sure everything is pixel perfect of that quality.
Yeah, awesome. And how long do you reckon it would take you if you weren't using AI Studio?
Yeah, the same project would take me more than a month of all those 20 pages, because again, those 20 pages are not the same. Some of them are very long, some of them are short, some of them are different. But that particular project would take me more than a month, right? A
Yeah.
lot more than a month, and the quality would not be similar for the fact that we did not have the flexibility enough to create those kind of sections or changes and everything. I remember there used to be a time a few years back when we just add a gradient on a button and people were like, wow. I've created videos on YouTube where I showed them how to create infinite scroll effect, and that got like 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 views, right? So people are searching for this, and my channel is really, really small, and people are searching for this on the internet because they're like, how come we do not do it on the normal page builder? But now it's just a prompt, all right? You're just a prompt away, like you're just a prompt and 2 minutes away to create something like this. So that's the reason why I normally recommend people. But if you have use cases where you want to do like multiple upsells, downsells, for multiple product purchases, that probably is not AI Studio is not a right platform as of now. But based on what I heard, that their dev team is already working on it to ensure that we get their pricing and everything options available on there as well. So yeah.
Awesome, mate. Awesome. I've got one more question for you, and I don't know if you can answer this, but where are the AI Studio websites hosted? Within high level or somewhere else? I
No,
know.
it's 100%. Yeah,
Sorry, you go.
it's 100% hosted inside HighLevel. Let me show it to you. So to go back. So if you haven't turned this on, this is still in beta, as you can see. You go to your settings at the bottom, and then you scroll to the bottom here, and then you see something called as labs. You go to labs here, and then you check AI Studio. You turn this toggle on, and this will show you up. And all pages are hosted. By the way, AI Studio is a separate segment of this entire high level, right? But it's part of high level. So everything here, from you click here, is going to show you all the other projects that you have done. So let me show you all here. You see, these are all the projects that's done in AI Studio, and everything is built here. One thing I also recommend people is that not just you to sell, which a part of my presentation is, don't sell just an AI Studio, also sell, uh, you know, things that come with it. For example, the AI conversion bot, all right, which books appointment automatically in your calendar. You have the voice AI system, right? You can add a voice AI or and people could literally talk to it. So yeah, probably we could also cover those on the other parts. But yeah, for this session, just want to show you that what we could possibly achieve in the high levels AI studio. Any other questions, Jared, that I can answer?
There are, mate, but I'm also conscious that you might have some slides that you want to go through. If we run out of time, I'm more than happy to get these questions to you. And then we can probably get those answered offline as well. There's a couple more there, but I'll leave you to keep working through this.
Perfect, perfect. You could also post them in the community. I'll be happy to answer them. Right. So this slide is basically again everything that I discussed is what is showing here is that what makes it premium, right? It doesn't the first format or the first output is not premium at all. And by the way, do understand that high level hallucinates. So no matter how good I am, right? But if the high level AI studio or any other LLM is not working at that particular point in its highest efficiency, the output isn't going to be the great. So same prompt, same details, same input websites. You try to do three different variations, and they both are, and these three are going to be different, right? So it's super important that you try to replicate multiple times to see the best quality you're getting, and then build on that, right? So as I said, typography, hierarchy, spacing, visual quality, sections, everything literally makes it look premium. Okay, so that's one thing. This is the hierarchy of how exactly we would see this in terms of conversion. For example, the visual arrives with this headline, value proposition, benefits, social proof, results, objection handling, CTA. So we are not coming to the point where it's not just design and build. Okay, people could design and build literally anything on a page builder. Of course, probably when you learn deeper of AI Studio, you could create something amazing, probably much better than what others are doing. But then you also have to understand conversion. When somebody comes, I discussed this on the podcast with Whit Muller as well, that how do you understand conversion? Of course, that comes only with experience, but what are the things that you should have above the fold, which will help you to convert better on your desktop, on your laptop, on your tablet, on your mobile, right? Only when you know what you are trying to achieve, only then you can prompt it to make sure that it was a high converting website. You could write it as a create me a high converting website, but then it only going to reference the parameter which it already has. But if you have your own experience or own knowledge of how a high converting page should be, because a lot of us in the past as well, I've run a lot of conversion rate optimization campaigns for my clients where we used to A/B test and used to continuously see as to what is going to convert better. It's not just the looks, the feel of it, but what we put into it, and that's 100% on us. right? So what should visitors understand, believe, and do? That's exactly what you also need to ensure that you provide the right input, right? And of course, do ensure that you are also getting this mobile and tablet first, because, and again, when just don't write in terms of that, hey, just make this entire website mobile optimized, because if you still do, you will still see a lot of variations when, because you're trying to create complex ones. So if you just create something simpler, it's going to be easy, a simple prompt. But if you're trying to create something complex, then you have to ensure that you are focusing on all this detailing, as I said: headline, image, section, buttons, stacking of columns, cards, right? Navigation, the form spacing, loading speed, CTA, every single detail you have to include in your prompt to ensure that with one prompt itself, you get most of your mobile section or tablet section sorted, right? So yeah, that's basically what the input is. And again, in terms of selling the services, I of course mentioned, don't just sell your front end AI, high levels AI, but also sell the entire back end with it. But this becomes a foot in the door technique to help you grab the attention and gives you the differentiator of what you could do, because this is something that you have produced of your own and not copied from somebody, right? Because you cannot have 1,000 copies of these, because the more custom it is, the more detailed it is, the better you can position yourself different than this entire AI thing that's going on, where everybody, to your customers, everybody's trying to pitch the same kind of AI sites or other sites which just look the same, right? And when somebody everything looks the same, there's no differentiator of pricing. And I, of course, want my clients to have the best quality pricing possible. So that's really it. And of course, when you have the complete system, as I told you, a landing page or a website could be sold for 1,500, 2,000, $3,000, but an entire system could be sold for 4,000, $5,000. Really depend on what in which segment you have, right? So yeah, that's basically what we are doing. And there's something about us with High Level Lab. We have free High Level Lab community. Jared is part of both our premium High Level community, right? So I just want to give you a short glance of it so that you can get a better understanding. So this is a free high level of community that I've been building to help our fellow high levelers, specifically focused on high level and everything that high level is doing. You get a lot of resources here in terms of courses, prompts, templates, a snapshot, recordings. We also do weekly sessions and everything. Along with that, you can also become part of our premium community. This is where for selected members who either upgrade their high level account, or create a high level account with my affiliate link, or pay a one-time lifetime deal of, like, we're now, as of now, we are now charging like $497 for a single time to get a lifetime access to our community, where we showcase everything about AI Studio, snapshots and everything. And it has a lot of these details. We have courses, conversation AI bot agents, AI Studio stuff, prompts, snapshots, and everything that I showed you, probably 10x more. So yeah, but Jared, yeah, open to any questions that you might have and I can answer. That would be good. Let me stop sharing this screen.
Awesome. Guys, how did we feel about that? Like, was that on point? Was that giving you what you're after? A few nods, a few thumbs up, a few comments. There they come. There we go.
Bit disappointed I missed most
Thanks,
of it.
Brett, I can't control your life as well, mate. I can't do all the things. But what I can do is, because Pridham's been amazing to share all of this, we've also recorded it, which then means that you can go back and check it out, Brett. But I'm sure that you'll love it. It touches on a question from Angie as well, because I think Angie jumped in just after the prompt that you shared as well, Pridham. She asked if there was a prompt, and you shared that. So yes, to answer that question that's there. But I just want to point out how detailed and broken down that whole presentation was. I know that everyone's got their own approach with how they want to build a website, how they want to do a landing page, funnels, and things like that. And it's great to see other people's perspectives and the way that they're executing this, and then the steps that they're taking to actually get to their end result as well. Because even if you can take 2% from a conversation or something that someone's going over, it's only that 2% that you weren't using, which is that piece that takes you to that next level of understanding it or learning it better. So I know that there are a couple of things within that I took away from as well. It's not really a question. Well, it is. I love when I'm making videos on the HighLevel Studio, because one question I practically bring up in every HighLevel video that I make around AI studios. I'm like, hey, in the comments, let me know when you've got the comment box on the left-hand corner, just above it, there's suggestions, right? And those suggestions on a mouse, if you've got a side scroll like I do, you can go through and work your way across. I haven't worked out yet how you do that if you don't have a mouse with a side scroll. Does anyone know how to do that? Because I could probably answer my own question in a YouTube video. Has anyone tried to solve this yet?
Can't you just use shift and the up and down scroll? Doesn't that go sideways?
I'm going to try it now that you've said it. I don't know.
I know it does work in some programs, but I'm not sure it works in everything.
Right. I'll check that out after this call. But it's just something funny that I've often, every time I've made an AI studio video, I'm like, if you know how to do this, guys, instead of using the side scroll, drop it in the comments. And no one's put it in there yet. So Brett might have been the one to answer it. I do have a couple of questions from the group as well. So one from Craig. What about publishing the funnel and then importing the copy into the website function of the existing website builder to create sections and have manual control over the elements? He said that he's heard people say they do it, but hasn't tried it himself.
Are you referring to creating the website on the AI Studio and trying to replicate it inside the normal page builder?
That's right.
Okay. Yes, people have been doing it. Even I have been doing it. But this depends on the complexity of the website that you're trying to create. For example, a website that is super complex, super detailed, and a complex layout cannot be implemented inside the normal page builder because we do not have those functionality of complexity. It's only when the backend complexity matches, only then you could replicate something. If they do not match, for example, if there's something very simple, the one that I showed you initially, which I just had a basic prompt with, right? That could be easily replicated. But the ones that I showed you of the real projects and the other templates that I showed you, no way. You could not replicate it any way possible, because how would you create those kind of complex section, the backend effects, and those, it's just not possible, right? There, because the backend is so complex in AI Studio, we have no idea about of how it works. And the normal page builder has a certain limitation, because we have to understand that normal page builder was designed for people who are not coders, right? I'm not a coder, you're probably not a coder, and many of us are not coders, but it was designed in a drag and drop functionality to ensure that we can get something valuable worth output on the internet. But AI Studio is completely different, because when we prompt something to AI Studio, it changes the entire backend code in real time. And then that's exactly what when you publish it, it sticks there, and then it's available live. So yeah, it really depends on how complex the page is. Something simpler, of course, you can copy it. Something difficult, probably not.
Yeah. I've got another question as well, which kind of fits off the back of this. If a client needs parts to be edited in the AI Studio, what's the right way to go? I'm imagining, Brett, that you're referring to, like, should we give them access to jump in there? Should we be doing it ourselves? Is that kind of where you're directing that?
It's probably a bit similar to what Craig was saying in that, and what Pranam said is it's complex in the back end. So if we need to go on and edit it, AI Studio is probably not the right place to have it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean,
answering Craig's question.
Yeah, I would not literally ask my client who has not idea of the complexity, the kind of detailing I have added on the website. Because, for example, if he changes that, hey, change the size of this font or add a section, right? If he is not very specific about what exactly is prompting, AI Studio could go in and make changes to all sections, all pages. And then you'll be like, what exactly did it? He will get frustrated on this. And then when he comes to you, there's a nicer way to replicate it. Like, you could go to the previous version, but if you've made a lot of changes, it will be very hard. And you might not even recover your original version. And then you have to work probably a few more hours, a few more days to get exactly where you left it to be. So
Yeah.
the
We
two
can
ways of
lock
doing
them
it, if
out
your
of it then,
client
right?
is, yeah, no, you cannot lock it out as well. So
You can't lock
I
them out
think
of it.
HighLevel has, yeah, I think HighLevel has introduced one feature. I'm not sure about it, where you could literally make it disappear, the entire AI Studio section, but I'm not sure. Because a lot of people have been asking about this, because they do not want to give control of AI Studio to
Yeah.
their customers. Rather, they would like to control it on their behalf.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can imagine letting them go in and completely stuff the whole thing up, and then they're like, "Oh, so I went in to make a few changes," and you're like,
I didn't
"It
touch
looks
it."
nothing like it." Yeah, I didn't touch it, but it doesn't look like it's working like it was beforehand. And you're like, "You touched it, didn't you?"
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we'd never heard that one
I
before.
mean,
Didn't do anything.
the history shows everything, so nobody can lie
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys,
That's usually what catches them out.
who here has felt like this has been helpful jumping on this call today? Yep, awesome. So, look, I what I'll do is I'll work with Pritam to get his free community link, and I'll share that so that you guys can jump into that. I just want to give you a shout out, Pritam, because you and I have been connected for a while, and I've always respected what you do. I like the way that you explain things and break things down, and this is why when I started seeing more of what you were doing with the community and stuff, I got involved. Guys, I know Pritam spoke about it, and he only just touched on it, but I want to bring it up just because I think it's a good deal. Is he's got his paid school group, which is going to be turning into a monthly subscription, like everything else that we probably get sick of hearing about, as far as like, oh, there's a subscription and pay this monthly, pay this monthly, pay this monthly. And right now, Pritam's actually got a one-time amount for that course, for that community as well. And so that's what he was showing you in the back end. That was something that I bought because, like I said, I probably wouldn't buy a lifetime deal from someone that kind of just popped up out of the woodworks and was like, I do high level. Because I'd be like, well, you and everyone else that's watched the YouTube video does high level. But what I chose to do that was basically your experience, mate. So I just want to call that out and say thank you, but also thank you for giving your time jumping onto this call as well, for all the Aussies. And this will get uploaded on YouTube so that the other people that weren't able to see it can check that out as well. I know that I had a guy literally DM me this morning. He's like, I'm doing something with Tony Robbins and I can't make the call. He's like, is it going to be recorded? I'm like, well, you do Tony Robbins and we'll take care of that and give you a recording later. So I don't know if it was Date with Destiny or what it was, but the benefit I see here is if you are looking for someone to kind of keep you up to date with these things, because I know this is what I've started to do, is I've now just started to pair up with people that focus on certain areas of high level or Claude or all these other things, because there's millions of them now. I've done it to kind of create mini partnerships with some of you guys as well, so that I can try and stay on top of it. So I'll get that link from you as well, Pritam. How much was it again?
Yeah, it was a lifetime deal for $497.
Bargain.
Yeah.
Cheaper than a dinner. Unless
This is because
you're eating with Craig, going to the Brazilian barbecue on the Gold Coast, or you can eat.
we just started like a month and a half ago. Like I onboarded you a few weeks back. So I just wanted to ensure that till we hit a certain members, I keep it to this low price, and then we could probably change it to a monthly or a yearly subscription price. Because this is a community where you do not get a recorded training or a one-time template or something like that, and you're done, like a pre-recorded stuff like that. We constantly update this thing. We have a live sessions happening every single week, right? You could ask question. I record videos to answer your questions, things like that, and we keep nurturing the community. Like every other week or every other, in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we have new snapshots coming in. We have new templates coming in and everything. So I constantly want to nurture this community because I want to divert my full energy into this to ensure that I have a community where people can learn about high levels AI, where specifically about AI Studio, funnels, website, because for all of my clients at least, right, this has been a significant part for their investment and their front end offer. Whether they want to sell funnels or they sell websites, landing pages, automation, or anything in terms of do with it. Because I now am a big promoter of how you use the conversation AI chatbot or the voice AI orb and everything here to your high level website to make it truly automated and AI functioning. Right. So taking the front end tool to the next level, adding more AI stuff to it, and exploring things up. Right. So yeah, my full focus in here. But yeah, 1 hour of session, I don't know how 1 hour just passed by in few minutes. This is the topic that I could speak for literally hours and hours and hours. And that's what we have been doing on my YouTube channel and Facebook. And I think that's when Jared got a notice of me. We connected, I think, few months. I don't know when exactly. For a long time we have been connected. So this is a topic that I absolutely genuinely love. like so cared about, right? I mean, you could give me something on a website on a funnel level, and I would be like, okay, I'm not really impressed with it. It's 50% of what I'll do. I'll take it to the next level. Let me work like few weeks, and then I'll show you what it could literally do on the high levels part. So yeah,
You can see his
that's just been
enthusiasm.
my definition.
The enthusiasm that led to our last conversation, I think, taking 2 hours, but it was worth it. It was awesome, but it was like shit. 2 hours has passed. But guys, I'll share those links. I'll get the recording together. But again, I just want to say thank you, Predham, because you're in a different time zone, mate. And I always like to acknowledge people that are jumping on from a different time zone, because we often are those people that are jumping on at a different time zone to jump on these courses and calls and masterclasses. So thank you heaps.